You guys, I want to start with Sarah Hyland and Wells and Chris Harrison, little love triangle, if you will, because a major Bachelor Nation story recently has been the release of Chris Harrison's new podcast, the most dramatic podcast ever. And in the first episode, Chris talked about who he thought would end up taking over for him when he left after Matt James's season. Chris said he thought Wells would have been a shoo-in to replace the longtime host. And now we're getting Wells's wife, Sarah's opinions on the matter. She was asked about this comment at the Critics' Choice Awards on Sunday, and she admitted she had not listened to the podcast yet, but responded with, "Everybody loves Wells." My question for you is, will we ever stop asking ourselves the question if Wells should have been the host? From now until the time that Bachelor goes off the air, will we be asking this question?
Yes, is the very short but very true answer. I mean, he's got everything going for him. He's got the charm. He's got the looks. Like, I know people have a crush on Jesse Palmer, but Wells Adams is more my type. Any day of the week.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, I agree with Chris, although I have thoughts about Chris and this whole podcast. But yeah, it's true. I mean, Wells to me was the perfect option to take over as host of Paradise. I mean, he was not only on the original Bachelorette, also on Paradise himself. So I feel like he gets it. He knows that this show is kind of different from just a regular Bachelor, Bachelorette season. I feel like Jesse Palmer didn't really give us anything different from him, being the host of Bachelor. So I don't know. To me, I think I agree. Wells should have been the host, but Bachelor Nation loves to fumble the bag. So
I truly am waiting for the day that Wells Adams steps away from Bachelor Nation, because he could, especially now that he's married to Sarah, who's now the new host of Love Island, the USA version. So I feel like if Wells was disappointed that he didn't get the promotion, if you will, he very easily could walk away from Bachelor Nation and have more opportunities in the reality TV hosting world because he is so beloved. I mean, we talked about earlier today, this new Netflix show that's coming out with 9 different shows all in one with Perfect Match. So I feel like Wells really could find something else if he wanted to, and if he felt like he kind of got looked over for this. But my question also is there any other Bachelor Nation member that's like as beloved as Wells that would have been well received as a host? Because I truly can't think of any. I mean, we did have Tayshia and Caitlin, who I think did a good job, but I'm just going to be honest. I didn't get host from them. I got peers from them, where Wells, he has a background in radio. He was a host for a long time. I feel like he's kind of the only one that could have taken the reins. Do any other Bachelor Nation members stick out to you guys? Or do you think we'll be stuck with Jesse Palmer for the rest of our life?
My answer is we'll probably be stuck with Jesse Palmer, but I can dream. I do think that since Tayshia and Caitlin stopped being the host, Tayshia has gotten individual hosting jobs. I believe she hosted one of the award shows. So she is kind of stepping more into that role. So maybe her as an individual host of The Bachelorette and Wells Adam being the individual host for The Bachelor, that's my dream.
I agree. I was going to say Tayshia for Bachelorette. I think Caitlin was also really good, but I think Tayshia has, like what Kayla just said, she's proven. She hosted the VMAs, and so it's like she really could have done the Bachelorette hosting role. I think for The Bachelor, I don't actually see Wells hosting The Bachelor, but I definitely see someone like a Nick Viall or even a Sean Lowe hosting The Bachelor. I think, we're definitely in the vibe of we want someone who is a veteran of the show. We want an alum. So I think them with Nick, he's been on multiple seasons and spinoffs of the franchise. And then for Sean, he's the only, well, I guess we'll count Ari, but he's one of the only Bachelors who's still married to his final pick. So I think Sean would have done a good job, but yeah, we'll probably be stuck with Jesse for a while with Wells as like tag along for Paradise.
No shade to Jesse. I mean, he does a fine job. I feel like he does host the show, I just feel like there's no difference between Jesse Palmer and Chris Harrison, which maybe that's what ABC wanted. Maybe they wanted a smooth transition where there's very little difference in the hosts.